Hey everyone, welcome to my video on JavaScript array methods. Today I'm going to be talking about just the basics of what an array is in JavaScript, along with some methods that are commonly used such as push, pop, shift, unshift, slice, and splice. I will also be talking about length and how the indexes work on the JavaScript array. But other than that, that should be all for today. If you guys do want a text-based version of this entire tutorial, it is available on the GitHub repository as a README as listed in this video here, along with all the functions and code that you would like to use and see for yourself. You can play around from there, but yes, let's get started with just what is an array in JavaScript. So an array in JavaScript is just another way of storing multiple variables in a container that ends up being iterable. By iterable, it means that you can go through this array by a for loop, a while loop, and you can just go through data and iterate through that data. That way you can get through multiple pieces of data without having to assign everything to a variable separately, etc., and otherwise becoming more daunting. So it's very useful tool, and it has a lot of utility, but it also has a lot of its own inbuilt methods. So by that I mean JavaScript arrays have methods built from JavaScript and these methods, what they do is they just add functionality for you, so that way you don't have to do any of the nitty-gritty things that otherwise would be way more complicated for a beginner. So over here, I'm just going to print a JavaScript array for you guys. Over here, you'll see the arrays just simply written down over here. Now, what if we wanted to access one value of the array? What we can do is we can use something called the index of that value. So basically, how we denote is with square brackets right next to the variable defined here. And one thing to note is that if I were to write 0 and run this piece of code, you will notice that I get printed 1. The thing is, I'm not actually writing the number here denoted in this array. Rather, I'm actually writing the index of this value in the array. An index works where it stores the pointer to that value. So in this case, thing is JavaScript arrays all start from 0 with their index, and they go all the way up until the length of that array minus 1. So why I say that is because if you want to access a last value, you would have to do this. Console.log numbers all the way 1 to 9. So in this case, technically it would be 8. And if we were to run this, we'll get 9. This is a little bit inefficient though. By that I mean there might be times where you actually don't know the last integer, or sorry, the last index of that array. So how are you going to be able to access 9 always all the time if you're not sure how big the array is? So JavaScript does give you a method called length. So you can write numbers.length, and like I mentioned earlier, it's the last index is the amount length of that array minus 1. So we're going to minus 1 here, and we're going to hit run. Now if you notice, I still get 9 in this case because technically this is numbers.length of this array is just counting how many values are in this array and just returning that to us. In this case it's 9, and then following afterwards it'll minus 1, it will give us 8, which is the last index in the array. And this works always for the last index, so this is just a way to get the last index of the array. And yeah, that's how length works, that's how arrays are indexed, and that's just the very bare bone basics of how an array is structured. Now let's get to some other methods such as pop. Now pop is designed to take off the last value from the array. So in this case, I will assign a value here, last, and we will do numbers.pop. So what's actually happening here is that this array is taking away 6. It's taking the last value from this array. So we end up with the last value here because pop, despite you don't put any input in it, it actually returns a value to you, and it returns that last value in the array that you took out. So in this case, we could actually print it over here. If we run this code, you'll see the array gets shorter. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, along with 6 as the last value over here. So that's pop. But what if you want to append into the array? By that I mean you want to add a value into the end of the array. In that case, we will use push. So push, unlike pop, does not return anything. Then we wouldn't need to actually assign it to a variable. All it really does is the input is whatever you feed it. So let's just say we want a value 4 at the end of our array. This will ultimately change the array to 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we're going to run this piece of code, you'll notice down here 1, 2, 3, 4 as denoted. And that's pretty much what push does. But what if you want to add to the front of the array? So instead of using pop or push, we would go into unshift. Unshift works in the way that it does the same thing that push does. However, it just adds to the front of the array. So let's just add 0 as our value, and we want to add that to the front of the array, and we run this piece of code. We'll end up with 0, 1, 2, 3. Very simple, works similar to push, except it's just adding to the front. And then, you guessed it, shift is similar to pop, where we can actually assign it a value here. I'm going to assign first, and then I'll do numbers dot shift. And then we'll log this, which will give us 1. And yeah, very similar to pop, just taking the first value out of the array for you and returning it in so you can store it somewhere and you can print it, and yeah, like you see, it does that. But this gets a little problematic, because what if there's a value you want to remove in the array that's in the middle? So that's where splice comes in. So in the case with splice, the way that it works is that if you want to take certain values out of the array from any section, all you have to do is just write numbers.splice, and the first input would be the index where you want this change to happen. So let's just say I want this change to happen on index 2. Index 2 is 0, 1, 2. So anything starting from 3 and onwards, let's make that change. So in this case, it's 2. Let's just say we want to remove 3 values starting from index 2. And we run this piece of code. What's going to happen is that it removes 3 values starting from index 2. So it's removing 3, it's removing 4, it's removing 5, and then it gives us an array that's 1, 2, and 6. So what's actually happening is that it's just removing as many values as you want starting from a certain point that you choose. So we can even change this to just 1. Let's just say we just wanted to remove 3 from our array, and we run this code. You'll notice it gets 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So very useful, where you can just jump into any section. As long as you know the index, you can just extract that value out of your array for your code. But not only that, it can also add values onto your array. So in this case, let's use the example index 2, but in this case, we want to add and we don't want to remove anything. So instead of putting 2, 3, we're just going to put 0. When we signify 0 on the second input, that's just telling JavaScript that, hey, we don't want to remove anything from our array. And all the inputs following afterwards from that 0 are what you want to add into the array. So in this case, let's just say I want to add 3.5 and 4.5 as values into my array starting at index 2. So this code will essentially give us, as I mentioned, starting from index 2, it's going to add 3.5, 4.5, and you'll notice that it's actually pushing 3, which was originally at index 2, forward. So that way 3.5 and 4.5 got to start from index 2 in this case. So splice, really useful tool, allows you to also add and modify the array. You can modify multiple values, just one value, and you can add wherever you want in the array, rather than push, pop, shift, unshift. So that's splice, but there's one last thing I did want to talk about, and that is, what if you wanted to take a sub array without modifying the original array? because in this case and all the other methods, you notice that it's modifying numbers. That's where slice comes in. Slice actually allows us to get a sub-array without modifying the numbers array itself, so that way we can use the new data for other features or other functionalities without having to worry about original data getting modified. So in this case, I have an example where how the input works is you basically denote the start of where you want to take the values out and then the end where you want to take the values out. However, there's one thing to note where these are indexes, yes, but slice works where it starts at the first index you mentioned, but you won't end up with the third index in your array because it's doing 3 minus 1. So in this case, I have 0, 1, 2, and then it reads that 3 is equal to 3. Let's not put that. Let's stop. Let's just return the subarray 1, 2, 3. So if I were to run this piece of code, you'll end up with, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as our numbers array, but our subarray is 1, 2, 3 as mentioned earlier. Now we can change this to include 1 so it can start at 2 rather than starting at 1 over there. And if we hit run, you'll see we get 2 and 3 because it's starting at 2. So that's slice, and at the end of the day, these are all the methods that we have for JavaScript that are very basic for beginners. I will go more into depth about map, reduce, sort, filter, etc. On a later video, it will be a little bit more of an intermediate guide for JavaScript array methods. And yeah, that should be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, check out my playlist for other JavaScript concepts, and I'll see you all on another day. Take care.